What website did you want to check?
Explore Cornwall, the one
This is out to.
that town money
Nice.
was used to develop.
Is that .com or .org?
I don't know.
Probably .com, right?
It was one developed by the Economic Development Commission, got money to
Sticky.
develop.
Okay, so I'll call the meeting to order. First thing is approval of minutes of August 1.
Will be approved.
Second.
Any discussion?
The
All in favor?
only thing I wondered was where we were talking about the kiosk for Cornwall Bridge. It said you made a motion to proceed and order up from Cornwall Miller. Is it Cornwall Millworks? What's the name of their
Millworks.
business?
Millworks.
Millworks. Okay, so just Cornwall Millworks. Yeah. And that was one thing.
Okay, are there any communications pertinent to the agenda?
Wait, aye. Are we all aye on that one first?
Yeah, okay, on that.
Aye.
Okay, any communications pertinent to the agenda? Any public comments pertinent to the agenda?
Yes, I'm wondering, since I don't know what you're going to discuss on West Cornwall Visitor Center, but Visitor Center, obviously, we want to encourage people to visit. We want to have a place for them to park. And now that we're going on 5 weeks with still having posted signs that say no parking, I hope that the board will reconsider Selectman Kern's suggestion that if the new people who are taking it over aren't taking it over right away, that stanchions be placed there and people be invited to park rather than discouraged.
Okay, any other comments? All right, next thing is state of Connecticut and town fund balances. You may have read in the paper the state of Connecticut has done substantial additional cutting, or actually this is the governor's proposal. It's very important to be precise in what's going on. The governor's proposing additional municipal aid cuts, mostly in the form of zeroing out over half the towns from education aid. And before they did that, the governor's staff through OPM requested the town report what their fund balances are. Most of this town and surrounding towns do have a fund balance, and so we did report that to the state. And we didn't have much to lose, and we lost our remaining amount of our education aid under his proposal, realizing that's just a proposal. Apparently legislative leaders are meeting together again today and this week to try to do a budget. Maybe when they get together with the governor, the cuts won't be as severe as been proposed. Haven't heard of any great source of revenue that's been identified yet at this point. And I really don't know what the leadership in Hartford is waiting for to pass a budget, as it doesn't seem to do any good for the state or the municipalities, especially cities like Torrington, who got $20 million cut, huge cut,
I
third.
can't believe they got that huge cut and Winchester did not.
Right, because Winchester is a Alliance district, whatever that means. So they're a struggling school district. Torrington, even though people who spend
They're
time there.
struggling because of their management in the past 5 years.
Correct. And apparently Cheshire is also a Alliance district and did not get cut, but
What kind of district?
an Alliance did, so they're allied with the state. They're the 30 struggling districts. Stanford didn't get cut. It just seems incredibly arbitrary and incredibly painful to some of these municipalities. How do you
What
do
is
a-
Torrington's fund balance? Do they,
well,
Probably they don't
it's-
have
it's-
anything.
I don't think
If
they-
anything, tiny bit.
And their whole municipal budget apparently is $66 million, and they got a $20 million cut. And the state says you can't reduce education spending, so they're going to have a mill rate of 80 or something. I mean, just absolutely
See how that economic development works out.
right. So it's very tough times.
Do you think there was a correlation? Presumably, you're saying that the governor was asking for all 169 towns to submit their reports with their fund balances.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was part of the formula used to determine.
He said no.
But it may or may not be the ESC, ECS. It may be something else later on. It could be the.
But none of these towns, or none of these cities that got huge, middle-sized cities that got huge cuts have these anywhere near this
No,
type of
I
fund.
understand that, but
So it's-
I'm just wondering if by having this information as to what kind of reserves the towns have, that will be used, whatever you say,
Yeah,
will be
well,
used
clearly
against you.
these various people in the state want municipal fund balances, one way or the other, whether it's cutting back aid or something else. But so anyway, I'm going to stay in touch with our representatives, and Council of Small Towns is meeting first week in September. But there's no real new information, and I don't understand why they don't do it. But obviously, they haven't come to an agreement yet on the final plan or something.
Right.
So anyway, we did comply with that because I don't think we had much choice but to answer their request. It is public information. It's in the budget.
School starts soon too.
Tomorrow.
Good, yeah.
In the AM.
Yeah, next Monday, I think, Region 1.
I thought
Yeah.
they start tomorrow.
No, I believe it's Monday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, maybe it was. No, I'm a week behind. Okay.
right. Okay, so anyway, we'll keep you informed, but I think it's very important to have our watchdogs in Hartford working for us, municipal agencies, and so we'll keep you informed as best we can. Let's see, Northwest Connect, fiber optics, Dean Sicardi, who's been here every day and worked on quite a few projects. I think he's coming maybe later tonight. Talk about item 6. He did reach out to Jessica Fowler, who's been spearheading the Northwest Connect, and she put us in touch with Felicia Jones, who lives in Falls Village, who has been hired by Northwest Connect to do their study and project coordinator. They've gotten several grants looking at improving internet connectivity in the northwest corner, but also all 21 towns in the COG. So we had about an hour-long talk with her about what they're doing, and they are looking at several options. She's going first to meet with the municipal leaders of all the towns and finding each town is unique and each leader is unique, and that is one of the obstacles to this whole thing. There is no county government in Connecticut, and there's huge variations between towns or outlook towards this type of project and their ability to even contemplate funding anything at this point. So the first agenda item does sort of enter into any of these infrastructure improvements that are desirable. But anyway, they do have a grant secured, I guess. She's here. And they're going to be doing some public outreach in the fall to chart out some possibilities, such as what's the best option. I mean, the most thorough, comprehensive, medium option, and a low budget option probably, and then get a sense of which towns are interested in doing what type of upgrades. So it will take a while, but I believe this will be unfolding in the next year or so.
So at some point, either earlier this year or late last year, they were talking about pulling the fiber optics into the library here.
Right.
Did that ever happen?
I don't think that ever happened. But
Okay.
I think it's, I mean, it is pulled
They
in.
offered it and we said, sure, go ahead,
Well, I don't think they ever,
but it just never
No, I
happened.
think we suggested it to
We-
show the
Uh-uh.
potential.
They
Well,
offered it.
well,
They were gonna pull it down here and pull it in, and we said, sure, fine, let's see how it works. Pull it into library, best place ever. Everybody can see how fast it's gonna be and how awesome it's gonna be.
it was a
Didn't ever
great idea.
happen.
But I think the reason they were going down Pine Street to begin with, because it is down Pine Street, is to go
Correct.
down to the
Right.
Fine,
waterworks.
but
That-
did it
that's
ever
valid.
happen?
It did not
The
happen.
cable
because
company
they're-
also talked about having jumpers on the lines for cell
Repeated.
service. Did that ever happen?
No. So obviously those are things that we looked into
Yeah, lots of talk.
region-wide. Lots of study. But anyway, they are working on it, so I think we should be supportive of seeing what the options are. And I'll keep you informed with that.
Are they talking with Frontier?
They're talking with everybody.
Whoever's interested in pulling the fiber?
Independent contractors, there are independent people that own fiber optic cable in Litchfield County. They're independent installers. There's large companies.
So
that-
they're looking at all the
They're
different
like-
possible options and saying
Right.
that they haven't been thought of.
Right, a corporate thing, a municipal. In Massachusetts, some of the municipalities have taken it on as their thing. And so they're looking at all the options, all the players, what's been happening.
What kind of budget did they have?
A couple $100,000. So real money, but not enough to, probably a couple miles worth of fiber optics.
Not enough to install it.
No. So anyway, that will be coming up in the fall. The Cornwall Youth Initiative, Dean has been busy talking to various people. He wrote an article in the Chronicle last month, and various young people have been talking to him about living in Cornwall, what's going on, and he plans to continue his work into the fall and feed us reports as he comes up with ideas. He's had a couple of people suggest things the towns could do to make it easier for younger people to live in the area. So he'll be getting back to us on that. And he might even pop in tonight, so we'll table that to another time. West Cornwall Visitor Center, the board did receive some correspondence on the West Cornwall Visitor Center. Sent out an email saying I was unaware that town has advertised the library as a visitor center. I think there is visitor information adjacent to covered bridge, and there are kiosks and information available at businesses that are open.
Yeah, I asked for that agenda item, but I think you have the sign there. So
Right.
That looks like it's from Route 7,
Correct.
pointing down
Right.
to the covered bridge, and it says what, visitor center?
No, it says visitor information.
Visitor information,
Right.
and I think what people that were traveling down Route 7 were expecting was an actual visitor center.
Right.
And what there really is just a kiosk that
Correct.
at the Pocket Park that just says what's where and how to get there, kind of thing.
Kent
And that's
has-
where the confusion was.
Kent has a welcome center,
Right.
which is nice.
That's
just
like,
but-
which could
but
be
that just
staffed or
happened.
not, or, right, and just happened
That
this
just
summer, right?
happened with
Yeah.
a $500,000 grant.
Right.
Right.
And
And
showers and bathrooms.
But I think that's where the confusion came from.
right. And there are little display boards in some of the businesses, or were in the businesses, like similar to that, where there is information about trails and
Yeah.
hiking and stuff.
I mean, absolutely, it would be great to have something more comprehensive, but at this point, I don't think that there was money for that.
Correct. And it would be, as I said, the library is working on
Trying.
renovating and getting themselves to a point where they can be open more, which would help.
Yeah.
I guess the big news of the night, or some big news of the night, is I did speak with new tenants, or the potential tenants at the Wandering Moose. And the lady said they hope to be open in September, and they're coming in for a steep grant to renovate the building. So that's good. Young family moving up.
The whole
Central Park.
building, or are they just doing the restaurant part?
I think I don't know what the terms of the lease are, but I assume they're just concerned mostly with they're renting out the restaurant, I believe, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen the lease. I don't.
So it's going to be a restaurant?
Yeah, restaurant doing comfort food, American cuisine, be open for breakfast, lunch, probably dinner. So I think, again, the best visitor center is open business. And
Where are they from?
they're from Marlborough, Connecticut, which is down by Cornwall, central Connecticut, River Valley, I believe, in there.
Farther reached.
Yeah, but she seemed very nice, has a couple kids, excited about living in town. Let's talk to the school principal.
Oh, so they're going to live here?
Yeah, they're moving up. Hopefully soon. So she's
Got to find a place to live.
finding a place to live. I suggested a couple of options and realtors to contact in the housing corporation and a few other things. So sounds very positive, and hope everybody will support them. And I said I'd be glad, look forward to meeting them. And I've talked to people that are excited about it reopening and going down there to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So
Do they have any restaurant experience?
I didn't ask them any.
Oh, they
Those
didn't have
things.
something in Marlboro? I thought that's what you were saying, they had something in Marlboro that
I
they
didn't
were...
ask those questions.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I met the daughter.
Good.
She came into the Wish House.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Good. So
Well,
anyway,
that's
I guess,
great. That may
I
be
think that's a big.
that's the big news of the evening, I would say.
Yeah.
I'd say.
That,
Yeah.
that gets inked and passed and happens.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's the West Cornwall update. The new issue that you may have read about in the local papers is ongoing efforts by towns to discourage the distribution of flyers, mostly Hartford Current, junk mail. Flyers have been lobbed into people's driveways for over a month. This is flared up in most northwest corner towns, and I've talked to the delivery person, talked to people. We've gotten numerous complaints here about the service, and so I did talk to someone who turned out to be in the Philippines, having a little bit of a language barrier. So I thought before I went too much farther, made this an international crisis issue, that I'll get your support. And because some people might like this, the lady said some people really like this, but I have yet to hear from somebody that really likes this. And I've heard from a bunch of people that are outraged by litter stuff, especially if they go away, they come back and there's a bunch of moldy paper all over their driveway.
One gets delivered to the Wish House every day, and Bianca has called the Hartford Current, and they won't stop. So
Well, they said that they're going to stop starting September 1st, so I actually cut off their delivery guy at the pass one morning, gave him a couple of things that wanted to be stopped right.
Yeah, I called
Now-
for a couple properties and they stopped. It took a couple weeks.
she's tried
It's
for years.
not.
It's been
Years?
Yeah.
It's only really flared up this last couple of months.
Yeah, it used to go in your mailbox, and then
Then
I can't believe it's cheaper to pay a guy to throw it into your driveway than it is to just mail it. Like the post office has so many cheap options now.
To me, it's a perfect means for someone to determine who's not home.
And that too.
Right.
Well,
So just,
I don't know, we just don't pick them up because we're just like, scrap. Stop throwing
Well,
them away
it's
driveway.
it's not a
good thing.
it's not a good thing.
It may,
Right.
it may help
Multiple
sales
reasons, it's not a
somewhere.
good thing.
Right.
All right, so with your permission, I will continue our efforts to shut this thing
You
down.
keep calling, we keep calling.
Right. But,
Well, I would think we would want the town shut, not just.
right,
whoever's
so,
complaining.
yeah, before I lose,
Yeah,
laterally
just
shut
stop.
down,
Yeah.
somebody.
How about the Northwest, how about the COG gets in
Well,
on that?
absolutely, they're, I think we might request
How
somebody.
many towns are being,
Colebrook, New
Oh,
Hartford,
Litchfield, go.
Canaan has got a whole pile they're gonna dump off.
Yeah. Oh my
Somebody-
God, I used to leave a stack like this at Beverly House. I'm like, I don't
Right.
have that many apartments.
Right,
Stop doing that. And
We
they
should
did
get those
stop.
people to give them all in and show them.
well, they were, yeah, some towns are picking them up and they're gonna dump them off on the Hartford Current driveway. But anyway,
Oh, I would do that.
I don't think we're
Call
gonna
me.
do that. You gonna do that? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, that's one summertime issue. Tax refund, Joyce, we have tax refunds? Okay. Glad we told the state about our fund balance before we did this. We have three tax refunds, one for $20.33, the other for $12.04, and the final one for $48.73. So I would make a motion that we grant these three tax refunds.
Are they all cars?
They are all cars. Yeah, there's actually another in there for $6.59. So,
Second.
under the recommendation of the tax collector, there it is. 4.
Can we already do that one? Or is that a different one?
I thought we had given him one already, so let's
Make sure it's not a double. up.
let's make sure we don't double up on that. So Joyce, can we just put a note on the one for Ralph to make sure we didn't already do this? As much as we like
It was
Ralph.
one of those weeks when you were away. So I just wanted to make sure it didn't get lost or doubled up or something.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Prescription drug program, we have checked again with the CCM people, and they say that apparently the drug companies are willing to have this type of program. Cost-free to municipalities. It's not like free drugs. It can give you some slight discounts if everything lines up.
Right, it's just a discount off of your script. But so
Right.
do we have to send out the cards, or do we just put out the call for we have the cards here, come get them?
Correct. We're gonna say we have them here.
Okay.
Come get them. Okay, so I'll talk to Jane Sillery, who thought it'd be a good program to have, so it's no obligation to sign up, and according to our neighboring towns that do it, there's a bit of a rush at the start, but then it,
Yeah, depending on what you have for coverage, it's helpful or it's not. So you
Right.
get that big rush of people coming in to get the cards, and they go to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist
Right.
is like, this isn't gonna help you. Then you don't hear from them again, but the people that are like, oh yeah, it does help you, you get 25% off.
right.
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 So
Something.
I'll make a motion, we pursue CCM drug program by getting some cards and publicizing this,
That's okay.
and thank Dean for working on the project.
Yeah, okay.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is senior van. I've been meeting with First Selectman Bob Valentine. Met with him in June or early July, mid-July, to talk about how the first 9 months of the program went, and it was kind of interesting. The ridership has increased quite a bit over what it was in the fall. right now, Cornwall's using between 16 and 20 rides a month. Fairly small population is using the van frequently. The cost is running somewhere, now that they've got the cost of operating it and people's time and driver's time and insurance, stuff like that, is running about $100 a trip. And our problem,
Probably kind of cheap.
well, it's actually, it's about twice as much as it's costing us to get the trips from Gear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, some of this we've got to refine a little bit because, as you remember, it's financed with partially through a state grant. We did allocate, I believe, $6,000 in the town budget, and then we can match in kind services like James time or what other in kind services we have. A little bit of my time to research things offsets that, or our $6,000 offsets it. So,
Well, if they're gonna let you do that, then you can offset the resident service coordinator at Bonnybrook. She spends time talking to residents about the rides too. Whether or not they actually use it.
right, but this has to be a municipal expense.
No, okay. Well, it's taxpayer expense. On the federal level.
Town expense. So
Trickles
anyway,
down.
Our expense with Gear, though, we may be underfunding those rides.
well, I talked to Gear and they felt they have seen some slight decline in what's going on, so our $6,000 towards that, again, they get so
It's more than $6,000 though, because we give them a percentage of our state grant too.
correct. But here's the problem, that a lot of these grant programs work well if you house and operate the van yourself, because then you can count all those costs against it, because Goshen's doing all that because it's, really their
Right.
program and we're just along for the ride, so to speak. They get to use their dispatching time, the public works time, the rental of the building time, the fuel costs.
Yeah.
They have a lot of costs that they can write off towards their $20,000 or whatever grant. We
Yeah.
send $17,000 of ours up to Gear, and then they write that off against our trips. Our problem is that we can't write off Goshen's overhead the way we can write off Gear's overhead.
Mm.
And the other problem is we're using, probably 2/3 of the trips are coming from Cornwall, and it's farther to go into Cornwall than it is to go into Goshen. So just to let you know, as we're probably gonna have to look at some adjustments to the program or something else. The other thing the Gear does, probably more than Goshen and Cornwall can do, is aggregate the trips. So that's the key to dropping the price, is have two people on the bus, not one. And our problem is we have such a small population that's actually using it, there's not any aggregation going on. So,
So if it turns out not to be feasible, can we step away from the partnership?
probably, because it doesn't really cost.
And
I
it
mean,
would all
Goshen's-
become a Goshen thing?
Yeah, I mean, we
Goshen
haven't
van?
got there, or we can do it to a certain limit, and then we go do more with Gear. The other thought too is that because Gear is looking at redoing the transportation planning, because there are, I mean, like I think we've had this conversation. I mean, Lark has vans going around, Northwest Trans has vans going around, Gear has vans going around.
But they
Goshen, Cornwall.
all want their own grant money, so
Everybody wants grant money,
they
but
won't combine.
well, I mean, we are combining with Gear, so whether we stay with Gear the way most of the other towns are doing, or we do a partial thing with Goshen, those are things we're gonna have to think about, but it's pretty.
I think that's a
it's
valid question you ask about whether we
Right.
It's a
wanna
federal funding problem.
Well-
Like, they won't just look at, all right, it's little tiny northwest corner of Connecticut, let's not cut the funding, keep the same funding, but let them all work together. They just see it as Gear, Goshen Cornwall, Lark, Northwest Connecticut, like they're all fighting for the same money.
But there
It's
also
the
may
whole
be-
United States of America, and it's really hard to make that happen.
It is, but also one service may have a bigger service area, which allows them to do provide more rides for the same amount of money,
Right.
which is also, should be what government does too.
Well, what I
So,
was gonna say though was that the valid point of whether we stay with Goshen or not, I think it's too early to make that decision, but we should keep that in mind.
I think we have to keep, like anything else, we have to keep the budget. And what I don't want to have happen is all of a sudden Goshen says, here's a bill for another $25,000, and Bob and I have been thinking about it, but we
Right.
haven't told you guys. So we have to, now we're at the start of the year, we will have to make some adjustments, because we can't keep on going at the rate we're going, because at $100 a trip, $6,000 gets you 60 trips.
Yeah.
And we're going, as I said, we're going almost 20 a month. Then you get some grant money, get a little bit of in kind, but we're not.
But can Goshen keep the van without us?
I think they
Didn't
can.
they need us to get the grant?
Well, I think that helped them, but I don't.
Do
I
they
just-
need to have a partner?
No.
Or
Other towns like Litchfield and other places.
why did
just
they
don't.
call us in to begin with then?
Because it makes a bigger
Just
catchment
a
area.
bigger group, a
Yeah.
bigger area, okay.
So I don't see us getting out of it altogether, but I think we have to manage it, and we have to look again as all federal and state funding is up in the air at this point. So we have, I think as a region, we need to move towards the most efficient system, and
And
again,
sustainable system.
system, and again, Gear has some smaller vehicles, so you're not trundling around a
Not
14-person
those little
van
vans.
with one
Yeah.
van in it.
That's what I thought we were getting when we first started talking about it. We called it a van. I thought it was a van
Yeah,
until we got to the end and it was a bus.
a bus is called a van. So anyway, we'll keep that on our minds and keep on going with that. Okay, anything other thoughts on that? We have gotten nice compliments on
Yeah,
drivers
yeah.
and the service. It's great.
People who use it love it. It's just really hard to keep it sustainable and affordable.
Rain bomb, that's our name for what happened here on August 2nd, not to steal Al Gore's thunder, but was a concentrated amount of rain here, which did wash out quite a few driveways in Route 125. It does point out that we are getting some unusual weather patterns. Apparently some people had 3 different rounds of hail during that event. And it washed things that people hadn't seen washed before, and it was just strange how concentrated it was, because in West Cornwall, 3 miles away, they had a half inch of rain. And
We didn't have much.
here we had
About
6. I mean, it just,
Was that the day after our meeting? It was like right near that
Yes,
time,
it's the
wasn't
day
it?
after the meeting.
yes.
Because
It was.
I left here one day, and in one of the houses down here on Valley Road, oh my goodness, you could literally see, like where they boxed out the driveway,
Right.
because all the gravel was at the end. Like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my goodness, poor people.
14
Came down off the mountain and just washed
14
the whole driveway
triaxle
out.
loads of gravel
Yeah.
to put, everything was put back in, and then 14 triaxle loads of gravel.
Yeah,
And longtime residents have never seen that
and
little
we got
thing.
whatever, an inch up
Yeah.
on flat racks, and we're like, what are you people talking about?
So it is something, it is,
Microclimates.
and you can see why we're having to build things a little bigger than we did in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, next, painting town buildings. One of our long-term projects is trying to keep paint on town buildings, and I thought I'd get some estimates on doing some town building. We did put some money in the transfer station
Inside, outside?
Mostly outside at this point.
So in the old building, because the new buildings they just did.
Yeah.
Is there anything on that one? Did they put something on that one?
Yeah, the outside has it. Yeah. So those would be stain, and also the salt storage shed has had one coat of stain on it in, not in probably 20 something years. And the pavilion down at Footfield has never had any stain on it, and that's beginning to look a little warped. So, and the stain is fairly inexpensive. So we have those staining possibilities.
It's the prep, not the.
Yeah,
it's
but
the
you're gonna
prep.
hire a company, right? Not the town guys.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
But
you're
we've
gonna get
had,
some. You're gonna put out an RFP or something.
right, so we have some local contractors that do it, so a couple quotes on that. And also there's trim around here, they could use it. There's doors that haven't gotten the proper stuff. There's some trim work that needs to be done around here, replacing some of the siding. So we're gonna have a little carpentry proposal on these buildings, and then paint some of the trim. And then also the town garage needs paint probably worse than any building. So, and again, that probably can be sprayed on. So the thought is maybe just to try to paint that whole
Even if they
section.
spray it, they still go.
Have to prep
Still
everything.
paint it
It's just-
before, right? Or they spray it and then.
They'll have to scrape,
Paint
I mean, they'll
behind?
have to scrape some of the stuff. There's wood.
They don't backbrush.
It's a good thing not.
Really?
Yeah. No, they just cover up the windows, and, I mean, they'll have to prep it somewhat, but.
You gotta
it's-
prep it and then fix any.
Right, but I don't
serious
even think
damage.
the wooden building don't even need to be prepped. I mean, they're pretty,
Probably the pavilion you could spray,
Yeah.
you could spray all of it, right?
yeah, spray them all gray. Right,
Oh, yeah,
outside, make
it's
the
some
wood
nice
last.
rainbow colors, yeah.
Need a committee for that, so. So anyway, so I'll get some quotes on that for the fall season. And there's some repairs to these small carpentry stuff that needs to be done around here. And there's talk also, there's some renovations, at the West Cornwall Firehouse. There's a committee working on that, the whole idea of the heating systems and all that is another whole.
Does that come out of their budget or out of our budget?
That'll come out of the town building budget, depending on how elaborate it's gonna be. But it's mostly functional, more than brass fire poles and things. And we'll see, I mean, that building basically hasn't been updated since it was built in the 70s, and it could use
So,
some stuff. So, anyway, so those are a bunch of building projects underway, hopefully.
Good.
Let's see, any public comments?
I have a question. Because
Sure.
You need to refresh me on the name of the person that Dean was referred to by Jessica Fowler. Jessica Fowler referred Dean to someone at Falls Village.
Felicia Jones.
Alicia, A-L,
Felicia.
Felicia.
F-E-L.
F-E-L-I-C-I-A.
Jones, okay.
Jones of
In Falls Village.
in Falls Village. Mobile number 646-285-3712.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I think it'd be a great article just to say what's going on.
Yeah, right. Now then I have a comment that,
Okay.
about the Hartford Current,
Yes.
packets. The person who visited in Cornwall from the Hartford Current is Brian McHenry, whose title is Circulation Operations Director.
Okay.
And he said, in appealing to them, that the Hartford Current in no way wants to be a nuisance to any town. They're only here to serve. So he would invite a contact, I'm sure, if you wanted
Yeah.
to
Do you
talk
happen to
to
have
him.
his number?
I don't. The number he gave publicly was the circulation number of
Right, which is-
1-800-525.
Right, which is in the Philippines.
But the distribution is done by a company called Northwest Distributors.
Okay.
So they're the ones doing the actual distribution.
The
However, he's an
actual-
awfully
Yeah,
nice
but
fellow,
they're
and I
not-
know he'd welcome a call, because
Okay.
I'm sure they want to.
So he works with Northwest Distribution, or does he work with the
He
Current?
works for the Hartford Current as the Circulation Operations Director.
Okay.
Call the main number.
And do you know
Call
where
the main
he?
number.
Right, the main number. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And the
Okay.
guy who throws them out his car window is a very nice guy too.
Oh, good. Well, that's nice.
He's a very nice
Gives
guy.
them a job.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, any other public comments before we get into bill payments? That's it. Okay, thank you all for coming. Stay cool.
Okay.
Chatting tomorrow.